buddy, Top Ramen. You ready for round 2?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Got some nice
Love
pastries
this.
here.
Hell yeah.
By the way, I got a shout out to one of my followers. This lunch is on him, her, whoever it is. I don't know who it is. They won't give me their real name, but they treat us to lunch today.
Oh, wow.
If they see this, get back to me. We'll shout you out or whatever. But
wow, that's really cool. So this is sponsored by an unknown fan of the show.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we ever really received the money because we don't ask for money. I don't ask for money. I don't want any money. We donate to charities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I said if they want to do anything, they don't have to support the podcast. We're fine.
Yeah.
We don't need the money. But there are people who do need the money, and I said support like a local charity of ours, our choice.
Okay.
2 of them I like is anything to do with kids and dogs. So St. Jude's.
Yeah.
And then any rescue center here in Arizona or anywhere.
Yeah. You heard of Pizza to the Rescue?
No.
So Pizza to the Rescue is a pizza joint. It's supposed to be one of the best pizza joints in town. But they support, they bring in dogs from the dog shelters.
What do they do?
And they support the local dog shelters. That could be something you could maybe wrap in or maybe have your fans
where
check out. It's in Phoenix. It's called Pizza to the Rescue. And they do a lot of support for the dog community. And apparently it's supposed to be some of the best pizza in town.
I got to check it out.
I still haven't gone there yet. My buddy Gino told me about it.
I got to definitely look at that. I got a buddy of mine. He's a radio show host out here. His name is, they got a morning show called the John Jay and Rich.
Yeah, yeah.
So John Jay, he has a dog rescue.
Yeah, I know. I follow them.
Yeah, so you
absolutely.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pup
That's your boy?
I think it's Love Pup.
Yeah, Love Pup Foundation.
Yeah, it's my buddy. So we'll support, we donate to his charity.
Wow.
Like I said, St. Jude's, Kids and dogs, man. I mean, that's what it's all about,
I love that, man. So now, back in your heyday in New York,
I got distracted a second with this lobster.
Okay, yeah. Do you think?
So they make these they stuff these with cannoli cream.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't the lobster tail have Nutella? Or
now you could put a couple things in there, but they make a nice one, like a light cream. Look at that, nice. People are going to be ragging. What the hell is this? Food Network? Italian Food Network.
They know.
Grab some. You got some cannoli cookies, rainbow cookie.
Well, I mean,
they got Napoleon's over here, too.
I'm going to have to grab this fork and then do what you did and sort of separate it.
Nice and light.
Yeah.
No, coffee and pastry is mandatory.
Yeah.
It's a mandatory activity, right?
So what were some of the power restaurants that really come to mind about getting deals done?
Comes to mind with, now that we're eating pastry, is the cafes. There used to be a cafe that I hung out in as a kid called Cafe Primavera. It was on Spring and Mulberry Street. But they didn't make anything there. It was kind of like a front for a mob hangout, But the real pastry places, like the real cafe places where they bake the goods and they put it out, my favorite hands down is Cafe Roma. Cafe Roma is on Broome and Mulberry.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. So if you look inside the place, right? I don't know if you got a picture of the inside. There you go. Man, I tell you the memories. So there's all this showcase. Yeah, look at that. So I can't even, as soon as I say something, right? But the showcases, right, to the left, display everything. All their cookies, their pastries, all the stuff. And then if you go to the back wall, to the back of the place, that's where I get all the Italian ices, the egg creams. You ever have an egg cream?
I did. First time I had an egg cream was Chef Joey, man, out here at his delicatessen. Oh, yeah? He came out, and nicest guy, man. He came out and said, hey, you got to try this ramen. You got to try this. And he came out and he goes, this is New York right here. And he gave me an egg cream. It's the first time I ever had one.
Would you have chocolate or vanilla?
It was chocolate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a chocolate egg cream. It was good.
The guy who used to run the place, his name was Wayne. I don't know his last name, but we called him Wayne. He was related to the original owners of the place. I think, there he is. Yeah, that's an older picture of him, probably before he passed away. As a kid, Wayne always took care of you. Because he knew my whole family, Great guy. You go in there, always give you extra, never charge you the full amount. Can't tell how many times I went in there for an ice, and he'd be like, nah, I gotta go. Or like an egg cream. So he made the chocolate egg creams, the vanilla egg creams, but he did it the old-fashioned way. They would have the steel cup holders. And you know those cardboards that shape like a cone?
Yeah.
And he would make it in that. Like a real foamy, and man, it was just ice cold.
So it could have held up inside of a cardboard?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What I had was an actual liquid drink. It was foamy.
That's what I'm talking about. Same thing.
Oh, but it would still hold up in there.
Back in the day, they would put it in like a plastic, like those little water cups that are shaped like a cone.
Yeah.
They would put it in that.
Interesting.
Anyways, the Italian ices, chocolate, lemon and rainbow. The ices as a kid. Yeah, we go to Cafe Roma. He'd shave off, shape it, spin it, shape it into like this big ice. So it's nothing like it on a hot summer day. Nothing like it. But then if you go up the block, you got a pastry shop called Ferrara's. Ferrara's has been there for, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
No shit.
And Ferrara's bakes their own stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. 1892. Over 100 years.
Pasticceria. Wow, I don't think I've ever heard that word.
So anyways, Ferrara, if you were from the neighborhood, you didn't go, you went to Ferrara, but you didn't go to Ferrara. You went to Cafe Roma. If you were from the neighborhood. You weren't from the neighborhood, the biggest tourist spot was Cafe Ferrara.
Got it. So everyone would go to Ferrara. Oh, there's the lobster right there. Then I see the cream puff, and then I see the Italian, the cake that you have is right there. What's that? Napoleon or something? Wow. Yeah.
Probably not the same, but anyway, if you go like on a tourist, like a tour guide or something, and they take you to Little Italy, one of the places they'll take you to probably is Ferrara. It's that kind of spot. But like I said, being from the neighborhood, you went to Roma.
Now, earlier we talked about the idea of like certain restaurants being associated with certain families. Were there certain restaurants that were considered neutral ground versus that family territory?
Yeah. There were people, I would say, look, hey, let's talk about the cafes, right?
Okay.
Cafe Roma was a known Genovese family place, only because the original family was in the Genovese family. So that was like a kind of known thing there with the Genovese people. But nobody gave them a problem, Because it's just a known thing. You're not going to go in there and start trying to shake down Wayne, because everybody knows Wayne. Wayne will hit you with a bat. He'll come from behind the counter and swing a bat at you. He's no pushover. But now let's say Cafe Primavera was another Genovese hangout. You're not going to Cafe Primavera and trying to shake the place down. So it's just a known thing. Now let's say you go up the block, right? You got Cafe Palermo, which I didn't go into too much. Cafe Palermo nowadays is getting a lot of media attention because you got the owner there. He's all over social media, Baby John. That's what we call him, Baby John.
Baby John, okay.
He claims to be the cannoli king.
Oh. Can't say that.
So he's playing. But there he is. Yeah. Something hit. You know the term when they say don't hate the player, hate the game?
Yeah, yeah.
That's this guy's playing the game.
Got it.
He's got it down. He's leveraging. He's smart. I tell you, I gotta give credit where credit's due. The guy's a marketer. He's playing it. He's a good earner.
Now, is he the cannoli king?
I don't know because I never had his cannolis. But his thing. Everything's opinion, right?
Right. Yeah.
He really plays it up. You go there. He's got all kinds of things in the street. The cannoli king. So he's what do they call that advertising? Subliminal advertising, right? He keeps saying nobody else is doing what he's doing. That's why he's making the money he's making. Probably he's playing off it. He didn't have to do that. He doesn't have to go and claim to be the cannoli king and sit with a tray of cannolis and go on. He's got himself out there. But the funny part is he's a made guy in the Gambino family.
Oh, my gosh, man.
So this is what the mob is today. And I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
Baby John's been around for a long time. I heard his name for a long time since I was a kid. He went to jail. He did his thing. I was very close to his cousins, the farmers, which I don't want to get into right now because it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Palmieri's were from my neighborhood. So I'm very familiar with Baby John. I never really dealt with him, But as a kid, I remember Cafe Palermo, but it wasn't as known as it is today. He really took it to the max. He's doing everything you could do that you should be doing today with a cafe that he has.
Marketing, yeah.
Yeah, he's a marketing, I don't want to call him a genius because what he's doing is not like nobody did it before.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I give him credit. He's really, I watch him on social media.
I see it. Cannoli king.
Yeah, he's nice.
That's crazy.
You'll see him in the frozen section, I heard. He's got some frozen things in the frozen aisle in the grocery store, I'll give credit where credit's due, even if I don't want to,
Were there dishes that were symbolic from back in your day? Like you were saying cannolis now, but were there any dishes that were symbolic? Like if someone ordered something specific, did it mean anything?
Well, yeah. Only when you were home. When you're home, you got, the big thing is, do they call it sauce or they call it gravy? Sundays is always gravy to at least my family. Because you got all the meat in there, you got the brajol, you got the sausage, you got the meatballs, you got everything in there. So it's more like a gravy type.
I got
If
you.
it was something during the week, it's tomato sauce.
Got it.
Nothing added to it.
Okay.
When it becomes, if you're, my mother would start the sauce at she would start the gravy at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it would bubble all the way till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
5 hours, right? And it would just bubble until it got like a burgundy red. But all the meat was in there, the brajol, the sausage, the meatballs, the pork feet, everything was in there. So it was more like a gravy type, heavy sauce.
Oh, interesting.
Then you would throw it on the pasta. Then you would get some cold ricotta.
Yeah.
They call it ricotta, cheese. Put ricotta in there with some grated cheese on top, and that was your Sunday gravy. That's a symbolic dish to me because it's Sunday, it represents family, it represents Sundays.
Yeah.
You don't have that dish during the week.
Right. So it was specific to Sunday dinner. Now, how important was Sunday dinner like in your world? Like, was it tradition or was it business or was it kind of both?
Every Italian family was Sunday dinner. So if you went through the neighborhoods, I'm not just talking my neighborhood, I'm talking about every neighborhood in the borough, the 5 boroughs, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, wherever there was Italian Americans, right? I guarantee you, right, between 10 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll smell all the sauce and everybody's making in the streets. So everybody's home eating. And Sunday dinner was like mandatory.
So nothing to do with business. All family and tradition.
All family and tradition.
Wow.
Even till today. My mother don't cook as much as she used to, but Sunday, that's what it represented. If I go out and have a Sunday gravy somewhere, which nobody could do it like home, that's what it represents to me. I think of Sundays. I'll think of, if we went to church that day, I was just home, And usually dinner was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I love that. Yeah, my wife's family, we try to do Sunday dinner. It's not as much. They grew up having Sunday dinner every week. But
you heard what I'm talking about. Yeah,
all the kids though have grown up. And now it's like, whose house are we going to Sunday dinner? Are we busy? Do we got work the next day? This and that. So it's like my wife really wants to keep that tradition going. Now, back in the day, were the chefs these restaurants that you guys would go to, were they treated like artists, or were these chefs treated like artists, or were they just like the business guys back in the day?
Chef back then really wasn't a chef. They were good cooks. They just knew how to get down and make anything. There's none of that fancy today where back then they were just putting out like real classic good dishes. No bullshit, straightforward. No nonsense,
Any chefs that you knew or any restaurant owners from back in the day in your neighborhood were also involved?
Yeah, you got chefs that, obviously there's guys that were cooks. and they became a gangster later on. Yeah, definitely. There was guys who worked in butcher shops. There's guys who worked in restaurants, you know. There's guys who kept the nickname. We have a guy back in New York called Joe the Butcher.
I was just going to ask you, was there any butchers?
He worked in his family had a butcher shop. He worked as a butcher.
Now, is that real about if somebody gets clipped, you take them back to the butcher shop and you cut them up? I know you see a lot of this horse in the media.
That's a whole other thing. There's a couple books I could recommend you to read first, and then we can have another conversation.
Culinary gangster.
That wasn't. No, not everybody get dismembered. You know, but back to the cafes for a minute. There's one cafe in particular talked about. Cafe Primavera was really not a cafe. Cafe Roma, legit. You were from the neighborhood. That was the real deal. Ferrara, tourist spot. Legit, but touristy. Cafe Palermo, we talked about today in the modern Italian Italy. He's doing his thing. There was another cafe on Mulberry between Canal and Hester called La Bella Ferrara. Small joint.
Different from the other Ferrara.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, solid family. The guy that used to stay in there, they used to call him Cha-Cha. He passed away since. But Cha-Cha was a good guy. He was in the boxing business. I remember a couple of boxers he sponsored to become fighters and stuff. But La Bella Ferrara was a nice little spot. You know, like a real steady Eddie place. Guys would meet there in the back and stuff like that, but a good family, solid family. La Bella Ferrara was another known place. I don't think they baked anything there. I think they maybe bought their pastries and sold them, you know?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, La Bella Ferrara. Good little spot. It's probably still open today. If you want you're from the neighborhood, you want to go get a quick piece of pastry and coffee, you go to La Bella Ferrara, you're in and out. You know what I mean? Like one of those spots.
Now, what about gelato?
Same thing. Gelato, you go to Cafe Roma, you go to... gelato really wasn't like there wasn't no king of the gelatos, you know what I mean? Nobody was claiming to be the king. But La Bella Ferrara was that type of place. Get a quick ice, quick espresso, you go in there, you get gelato. Same thing with Cafe Roma. But there's one cafe that I got to give the most credit to. It's called Cafe Napoli.
There it is. Wow. That place looks great.
And here's why. You see, a lot of these places, it's not only about the place, it's about the people, the family behind it. Okay? You have a woman, her name is Anna Napoli. Don't tell me you put the picture up already.
Yeah, he already did.
Yeah, these guys. I love that lady.
Yeah.
This lady is loved and respected from everybody. There's not a person. I don't know if a person ever existed that didn't love Anna Napoli or respect her. She is the epitome, like a strong Italian woman that came here from Naples, obviously, and broke her back and with this cafe and built a beautiful, legacy, empire. The woman is, let me give you an example how she is, right? She came here, I don't know when she came here, obviously before, I don't know exactly when, but she opens up Cafe Napoli, right? And she has all these pastries and coffee straight from Italy. And she'll talk like a disher, you know, like those accents.
Yeah.
So I remember as a kid going in there, and she has 2 daughters, beautiful girls. She raised her family, raised them right. She'll talk like a disher. So you're a young kid or whatever, walking through the neighborhood. Her cafe was always open to you. Come in, she'll look to feed you, look to feed your family, whatever the case is, and always sitting there. Strong woman, always sitting there with her sunglasses on. It could be day, it could be night. Like a real old school Italian woman, dressed in black, shades on, gangster, all the way, like old school, right? I remember she started making food. So she had like a little stove in the back. It's like, I don't know, maybe a 4-burner, 2-burner, whatever it was. And she was making, she's good. She was making pasta dishes just for people she knew. So like, let's say you came in, she knew you, your family, she'd feed everybody. And then she started expanding the restaurant because her food is so good. Her food's legit. She knows how to put everything together. She knows how it should be. And today they have a great restaurant now. They serve everything. You go in there, you could have everything there. Like you could start with an appetizer all the way to dessert. You really don't have to go anywhere else. Her family, she has 2 daughters. I think their names are Anna and Maria. Might have that wrong, but I'm almost sure. Beautiful girls. I remember them growing up. You know, they were older than me. They married 2 guys. One guy was Anthony Fontana, and the other guy was Richard Juga. So, yeah, look at Anna. Huh? She was hot back in the day, huh? Not to get into Richard Juga and Anthony Fontana, but let me just say this. They were lucky to marry into a family like that. Because that woman took care of everybody. And I bet you till today, she probably still takes care of everybody.
So she's still alive today?
Yeah, from what I understand, she's still alive today. God bless her.
Wow.
But she takes care of her family. She stands by her family. She'll take care of everybody. So, like, let's say, my point is this. You married her daughter, you hit the lotto. Because you got a woman who's going to take you back all the way to the end. And your kids and grandkids and everything else. You talk about marrying into a good family. So I always thought that the husbands that married into the family weren't really good enough for her daughters. Who knows if they watch it, they disagree with me, they get pissed, I don't give a shit. That's the way I always thought it was. I remember a quick story. My grandmother, she was on a deathbed, my great-grandmother on my mother's side. So my father at the time, he could afford to do something. He said, what's your last wish? She says, all I want to do is see my family from Italy one more time. I want to see my brothers and sisters and all that stuff. So he said, all right. So we reached out. And this is the side that we have in Naples. So my family's Naples, Napolitan and Calabrese. So the Gioia side is from Crescenza, Calabria. It's like on the water. That's the Gioia side, my father's side, father's side. My father's mother's side is from Naples, the Napolitan. So we reach out to the Napolitans in Naples. And at that time, there was maybe, it started out 3 people were supposed to come. Well, from 3, it grew to like 10. Because everybody wants to come in, right? You want to see your family. And they all came in and stuff. And I tell you, some of them spoke, fluent English, but a lot of them were like fish out of water. They just wanted to see their family, but they didn't know to go around. Like we had to take them around everywhere. Once they found Cafe Napoli, because we took them there, and it made them feel so at home. That's all they wanted to do was go to Cafe Napoli. They wanted to hang out more over there than with us. You understand? Because it was more like Italy.
Yeah.
Because when he came in there, she made them feel, you're back in Naples.
Wow.
So she fed them, she greeted them. I mean, that's the type of woman she was. And she didn't have to do that. She didn't know them.
Yeah.
But she knew us.
Wow, what a story, man.
So every gangster in the neighborhood respected her. They respected her. Nobody bothered her. And the woman's a tough woman herself. I can't say, I keep going on about Anna Napoli, but you talk about a person like Wayne, Cafe Roma. You remember the people that are good to you as a kid.
Yeah.
Right? Growing up. Wayne was very good to me. Going in there and wouldn't even take any money from me. I have to leave the money there, but he wouldn't take any money. Anna, never take any money from you. Cafe Rivera, never any money, So those little things you remember, right?
Now, was that because you were a connected family, or was that just because it was who it was? Like, who were they taking the money from? Tourists?
No, yeah. Like if you went in there, obviously, and you were a random person, it's a business transaction, right?
Right.
Anybody from the neighborhood, she knew their family. You're from the neighborhood. She rarely took, if she was there, you weren't paying. If she wasn't there, you would pay. You want to pay.
Right.
You don't want to take advantage, you know?
No, absolutely.
At least I never wanted to. I never wanted to go. I didn't keep going to Cafe Roma because I knew Wayne wouldn't charge me. That wasn't the case. I used to go in there a lot when he wasn't there. And I would gladly pay because I loved that place.
You fuck around and Playing with the wrong pistol. My shit got a broken safety. Flow sumo, this ain't a game, Uno. Shout out to my Usos, killing bills like Uma. Balls travel from Pluto, big truck soprano, gabagool and prosciutto. Kicking ill like judo, judge and jury like Judy. Hoes think they knew me, flows flow through me. Nike gray hoodie, contemplating money. Bees swarming like honey, watch your lil' homie filter through the phonies. Shout out to Tony, white girls with the yayo, pistol with the potato, departing suckers like Leo, getting dough like Philo, ops end up like Greedo, always roll solo, prime rib with the vino, flow Jurassic like Dino, game long as DeVito, AZ always sunny, but ain't shit really fun.